Welcome to today's media briefing. Today we have Dr. Chang Shuk Kwan, Head of Communicable Disease Branch for Center for Health Protection, and Dr. Lau Ka-hin, Chief Manager of Hospital Authority. Dr. Chang will talk about today's latest situation. Last night we've confirmed 50 cases. Case number 10323 to 10372. Two are imported cases. One from a foreign domestic helper from Indonesia via Singapore arrived on the 27th January. Another arrived from Dubai to Hong Kong on flight EK384 on 23rd of January and detected while serving quarantine in hotel. The genetic analysis show an N501Y mutation. Whether it comes from UK or the South Africa will need further analysis. Of the 48 cases, 16 of those are untraceable origin. 32 are related to other cases. Of the 48 cases, 7 were detected in Yau Chim Wang area. 4 are from the Jordan specified area. 2 others from Yau Chim Wang and Mongkok specified area. 3 from Sam Shui Po district. 1 in the specified area in Sam Shui Po. 11 from Kowloon City. 3 in the specified area. And of the buildings, 1 building with 2 units affected and is now subject to compulsory testing. Lai On Estate Lai Ping House, Block 5. And in the Yama Chim Mongkok specified area, 1 building subject to compulsory testing. 1 unit with 1 case. Wing Chak Building, 9 to 15 Waterloo Road. 2 buildings within the Hong Kong specified area. 31 Winslow Street, 1 unit with 1 case. And Lok Ka House, 1A Baker Street, Hong Kong, 1 unit with 2 cases. Kwang Wah Hospital Redevelopment Project, we had 5 confirmed cases. We will issue a compulsory testing notice, a compulsory testing order to subject all the workers who spend more than 2 hours at the site to get tested. Of these confirmed cases, there's 1 positive sewage samples where 1 confirmed case is identified. Sam Shui Po, Atloo Street, 173 to 175. 1 confirmed case. Chong Fat Building on Block C, we obtained over 20 samples. 2 turned out positive. They are located inside the residential units. 1 unit each. The drain outlets of the toilet. Another one as a drain outlet of the kitchen sink of another unit. So we suspect it's a contamination by confirmed case. In Luk Yang San Chin Block R, another building subject to compulsory testing. We start seeing on the 18th floor, together with today's case, there are 3 18th floor case units with cases. And right now we have 1 preliminary cases on the 18th floor. We suspect there is contamination on the 18th floor. All the 8 units, with the remaining 4, are classified as close contacts and will be sent to quarantine. And that's the end. Oh, one more thing. In the confirmed cases, 10324 case number. A family member of a confirmed case. On 23rd of January, the case was sent to hospital as the case passed out, and the family members are then confirmed later. The Fusan mortuary abstracts specimen for testing and turned out positive. And now Dr. Lau will talk about the HA situation. As of today, 9 a.m., in the past 24 hours, the hospital authority has reported a total of 64 cases. In the past 24 hours, we have another 63 patients recovered and discharged. Currently, we have 9,302 patients recovered and discharged. As of today, 9 a.m., we have 811 patients scattered across 22 hospitals and Asia World Expo Community Treatment Facility. 30 cases in a critical condition, 34 in a serious condition, 747 in a stable condition. The number of negative pressure beds stand at 1,220, utilization at 67%. The negative pressure wards, 672, utilization at 75%. 2 items to report. First, on Queen Mary Hospital water leakage. The thoracic ward ceiling have shown leakage, and on top, an isolation ward is on the upper floor where we accommodate COVID-19 cases, and there's one patient in the thoracic ward being stained by the water leak. Acting out of caution, we sent the patient to another ward for medical surveillance. A nurse and a support staff was stained by this water drip, and they were sent to medical surveillance. And they all tested negative for COVID-19. The hospital have collected the leaked water for testing, and they turned out negative. The cardiothoracic ward have arranged emergency repairs and thorough disinfection. The ward, we need to move the patients to other parts of the ward, and 2 scheduled non-emergency surgery were rescheduled. The hospital would like to apologize to the patients affected. And an update on PPE inventory. As of today, 29th of January, the HA currently have 81 million surgical masks, 7.5 million respirator, and the facial mask 9.7 million, and 12 million overalls. Currently, we have enough supply to last for 6 months. Now open the floor to questions, and please state, include the microphone, and state the media you represent before you ask your questions.
The gentleman over there. Good afternoon from Apple Daily. First off, I'd like to ask about the family member of 10324, the patient who passed away. Is that for the family member, is that a preliminary positive case or a confirmed case? Do you have a number? And for the congee shop in Hong Kong, the Wing Wing congee shop, we see from the case that there are already 10 people that has already constituted a cluster. So for the new cases, were they actually workers or patrons or family members of patrons? Can you tell us more about that? Thank you. 10324 was already a patient who passed away. 2 family members were confirmed, and they one was confirmed today and one was confirmed earlier. Wing Wing congee shop, a close contact of a worker got contacted, so there was no increase of confirmed workers. So altogether 7 workers and 3 family members. Next question, please. I'm from Ming Pao. I'd like to ask about the cardiothoracic ward in Queen Mary Hospital. Well, this is the second time there is such a ceiling collapse. I think it is actually an occurrent case. So do you know how high the risk it bears to the patients over there? And in relation to our block of Lok Yeung Shan Estate, on the 18th floor, there are 4 units that have seen confirmed cases. Can you tell us how many people altogether are confirmed over there? Do you know the source of transmission on that floor? Third question. We see in Pei Ho Street, do you know that for the municipal building, how many people have been under compulsory testing and how many confirmed cases are there? Well, in mid-December last year, there was actually a leakage case in Queen Mary Hospital. At that time, an emergency repair was made and many immediate measures were taken, such as enhancing the water tank capability. And we know that now that there's been an increase in cases, and so we have seen high occupancy in isolation ward. So we're not able to clean out all the wards. But the hospital has decided that starting from next week, there would be a comprehensive repair on all the pipes, and it would take around 1 to 2 weeks. For patients in the cardiothoracic ward, they would be transferred to other wards, and some isolation beds will need to close down for this repair. Let me first answer the first 2 questions. For Lok Yeung Shan Estate, 4 units, a total of 6 people. For Pei Ho Street, the question in relation to Pei Ho Street, I wasn't quite clear about the question. Well, we see the municipal building in Pak Ho Street, there are around about 10 people confirmed. So what kind of work are they engaged in? Are they connected in any way? Are you talking about those in our building list? Well, they're actually those who live nearby and who have visited the wet market. I don't see any workers so far in that list. Next question, please. I'm from cable TV. A restaurant in Dongfa building this morning mentioned that they were fined because they didn't take part in the compulsory testing, and they said they were not notified. So would something be done to actually cancel out the penalty? And for the Jordan specified area, how many people have actually been fined for not taking the compulsory test? We know that the CHP director post would now be divided into 2. So the controller post would be divided into 2. So what would each controller be in charge for? And why is it that the 2 controllers are not present here today to meet with the media? I also like to follow up on the case in Lok Yeung Shan Estate. The 4 units involved, can you tell us something more about the source of transmission? I am not quite clear about law enforcement, but I know that this morning we have the HAD, the district office, the police, and medical staff taking part in enforcement. Altogether, 15 people who didn't take the compulsory test and was fined the fixed penalty. Of course, they did this out of their considerations on enforcement that some people did not heed the notice and thus handed out the fixed penalty. In Shamshui-Po, 220 reports are made, and there are actually 14 people who were given the fixed penalty as well. So we remind the general public that each day we are issuing new compulsory testing notices, and that enforcement would be fully enforced. In relation to the controller part of the question, I'm sure that you've been given some information from the news officer, so I'm not going to add more to that. Hong Kong 01. For the mutated case 10315, the patient is not a Hong Kong citizen. How come that person is allowed entry into Hong Kong? Which flight did he take and which hotel did that person stay in? You need to trace the transmission source. And case number 10319, that's also a non-Hong Kong citizen. Is he staying beyond his visa permits? And for Kimberley Hotel, that's a quarantine hotel. Did that person stay in quarantine hotel? And in Hong Kong, there's a hotel that have seen security staff confirmed, but the hotel did not tell the people staying there, and didn't issue a notice to its staff. 10315 is a person from Korea. I'm not sure whether this person is allowed entry because I don't know about the situation. This person stayed in Ramada Hotel on Austin Road. It's Ramada, Hong Kong, on Austin Road. For case number 10319, that's a refugee in Harbourfront Hotel. There are 5 security and 1 repair staff who were confirmed. The first 2 cases, when we were first notified, we thought that there was a mini outbreak, and therefore around 70 to 80 people there, since they shared facilities, were sent to quarantine centers. And we requested them to take a compulsory test. So I think we did notify them to take the test. How about an English question? The person in the back.
Good afternoon from RTHK. First question for the possible cluster in Luk Yeon San Chun. Can you tell us more about how the flats were where the COVID patient lives were distributed, and did they communicate with each other, or how they got infected? And the second question is there an emerging virus cluster in hotels, especially those located in Hong Kong? And will hotel staff or their security staff shift between job locations? And the last question regarding the lockdown on Tong Fat building in North Point. Some restaurants on the same street got fined, even they stay indoor and hoping for testing instructions, while more than 100 residents did not show up when authorities knock on their doors. How can the authority improve such situation? Thank you.
關於頭先我唔記得講。
As for the quarantine hotel guests, that case worked as a housekeeper, but that case did not clean the rooms of the infected cases. We have sent 5 persons We are tracking down the close contacts. I do not have the exact figure. So far, we haven't found any cases related to the confirmed case. However, we will arrange everyone to get, or the hotel employees to get tested.
Therefore, it's a typical private residential building with 8 flats in one floor, and there are 4 of them affected with confirmed and 1 with preliminary positive case. So altogether 4 of them have cases. So we suspect there may be some earlier transmission when the cases were staying there through, for example, the lift lobby and the common corridor, and also maybe the rubbish store. So, of course, after the confirmation of the first case, we have advised for disinfection. But because we found that there's some clustering of the cases in that floor, so as a precautionary measure, we will arrange all the other 4 units, the residents in those units, because they might have been exposed to the similar risk as the other cases, to stay in the quarantine camp for the coming 14 days. We have not found this yet.
佢答多一個英文問題，嗰邊第二行嘅，再出呢位。
From the South China.
Let's take another question.
The CHP explained why Tongfat building in North Point was locked down, since it seemingly did not fulfill the 3 criteria for a lockdown, which is a positive sewage sample, it's a 3-nil building, or designated mandatory testing district, because no cases were found after the operation. Second question is whether Dr. Chuang thinks buildings should be automatically locked down once they meet the threshold for compulsory testing, as some experts have suggested. And third is, out of today's 11 cases in Kowloon City, I understand that 3 of them are from the Hung Hum designated area. So can you tell us where the others live? Are they all concentrated in a few buildings, or are they more spread apart? Thank you.
I think the government will consider multiple factors to issue lockdown operation, and I do not have the details, and they may not only limited to the factors you mentioned just now. For the Hong Hum, you mean the Hong Hum? Okay. One of the, I mentioned 7 cases staying outside the designated area in the Hong Kong, right? So actually, I think 4 or 5 of them, they are from the same unit. They are from the same family. So they are from the Lok Man San Chun. And the other one is from the link case is from Hoi Yat Hou Yuan. It's linked to previous case, and I mean all the 7 cases except one is a locally unlinked case. Yeah, the others are all linked cases. So the one from the unlinked case is the index of the cluster of cases of the family cluster. I think the government will will take into account of the advice from all the experts and see what we should do.
下一位呢邊後邊紅色衫嘅男士。
The gentleman in the back in red. TV News. For the Tongfat building, the lockdown operation failed to find any positive cases. Are you concerned that there may be incubated cases? Will you arrange a second round of compulsory testing? Do you see that the operation had missed the best opportunity, thus failed to find any cases? And also for Lok Yang San Chun, are the units joining each other, or have you obtained any environmental samples, or will you see there will be possible transmission upstairs or downstairs? Chung Fat Building, from what I know, this morning we've tested 1,300 individuals, including the earlier tests between the 26th to 28th of January, which is quite a substantial figure. Hopefully, we have found all the cases instead of any future potential outbreak, as this is a law enforcement operation. At Lok Yang San Chun, some of the units are joining each other, but some are further apart. There are just 8 units on the same floor. It's not like they're all 4 units are joining each other, so some are probably a bit further apart. We have not obtained any environmental samples. Well, we ordered therapy cleansing as the first case. If the results fail to show positive, doesn't mean there have been no transmission. RTHK. First, there are now 11 cases in Kowloon City. And do the area warrant a lockdown in the light of rising number of cases? Another question on the Dubai variant case. As the case is confirmed during hotel quarantine, what is the possible source of infection, and would the staff or the guests be at risk or need to be evacuated or subject to testing? A third question on Lok Yang San Chun 18th floor. Do you need to declare that a restricted area? And do you see the other building in Lok Yang San Chun need to undergo compulsory testing? For the Dubai arrival case, is an imported case. Well, the hotel is a quarantine hotel, and the case was not allowed to leave the hotel room. The transmission risk to staff to other guests is quite low, as full precaution measures have been taken. Today, number of Kowloon City cases. Among the unlinked cases, 1 from the Hong Kong specified area, and 1 outside the Hong Kong specified area. These 2 are unlinked cases, while the rest are linked cases. It's just the linked cases already live there and with the family members in that area. Therefore, some are detected at the quarantine center, thus contributing to this figure. For example, there's 1 case in Lok Yang San Chun. There was 4 to 5 family members also confirmed, thus adding up the number.
我哋答埋最後兩條啦。呢位
We'll take the last 2 questions. Oh, sorry. For Lok Yang Sun Estate, we see that they're mostly clustered on the 18th floor. We think that there might be a transmission on the 18th floor, and that it occurred before we identified the cases. There's another floor with 1 other case, but there seem to be no other clusters. So we believe that there might have been some transmission in the first case. From Tai Kung Pao, good afternoon, Dr. Chuang. So there are 6 buildings in Shamshui Po that underwent compulsory testing, and that 220 people were tested, and 14 people were fined $5,000, and 6% still haven't done the test. Dr. Chuang, do you think that this is actually an ideal number? Why didn't they take the test immediately for these 14 people? If you let them go, then you might not be able to find them. How are you going to trace and follow up with them? And then I also like to ask about the preliminary confirmed case numbers. I have around 30 preliminary confirmed cases today. For those who did not take the compulsory test, they would be asked to do the test immediately together with the given the fixed penalty. So they still need to take the test immediately because they're under a compulsory testing notice. I am not sure who these people were. We'll take the last question. The lady in the back. Good afternoon. I'm from Economic Times. I'd like to ask about Lai Ping House in Lai On Estate. How many people are confirmed positive, and what units do they live in? And for the patient who passed away, case number 10324, did that person have any chronic disease? For those confirmed family members, are they family members closely linked, or are they close contacts because they've had some sort of a gathering? I also like to ask about the 18th floor on Lok Yang San Estate. Do those people know each other? There are 2 units in Lai Ping House. 3 people in 1 unit and 1 person in another unit. They live on different floors and facing different directions. Case 10324's family members were immediately sent to a quarantine center after 10324 was identified as a positive case. And for those who had symptoms, they were sent to hospital immediately. And so these all occurred simultaneously. I'm sorry, the speaker's off mic. I think they may greet each other, but they were not really acquaintances. I'm sorry, the speaker was off mic. Some were chauffeurs of private cars. Some worked in hotels, and some were retirees, and some were clerical staff, and some were unemployed, and some work in repairs. A person from Kimberley Hotel, and also construction workers, and some in property management, and some work in bars. Some had their own business, and some had businesses online, logistics, cleaning, and traders. So they lived in Shiu Fai Terrace, Lokman Sun Estate, and Toshi House and Ning On Court in Tai Kuching. They had to go through compulsory test. Also in Yuen Long, Chun Wan Center, Fa Estate in Yuen Long. Wing Tak House, we've already mentioned that, and Tima Court in Wong Tai Sin, and Lokka Building, Lokka House, and Lok Yang San Estate. Yi Tsing Court in Sham Shui Po, and Hotban Garden in Chuen Wan, and also 173 Aplu Street, Lion Estate, Hong Fong Estate, Hong Fok House. We now conclude today's press briefing. Thank you.